Hey guys, my name is Hayden Dibb and today I'm going to be talking you through street photography in Shanghai. Let's get into it. Not too long ago, I spent just over a week in Shanghai and Jiaxing in China, and I had an amazing time. But one thing I wanted to do while I was there is kind of shoot as much as I possibly could. I took my favorite camera that I own at the moment, is the Canon EOS R, and I shot video, I shot photo, but yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump onto my Instagram. I'm screen capturing on my phone, and we're going to run through some of the photos that I took. I'm going to talk you through how I achieved those images. Let's go into Instagram, go to my page. Okay, so the first image that I took while I was in Shanghai was a picture of the skyline. Now, this was taken on my phone using the moment lenses. I have the moment case on my phone, if you could see that. So I used the moment lenses. I have the 18mm and the 58mm tele. They're really great to just kind of have on you at all times. And with the quality of this phone, it's pretty insane. So I was super happy with that, and that's the first photo I posted while I was in Shanghai. The next photo was a photo I took when I first got there, but it was something I had, took into Lightroom, edited, and this is the photo that I took. I think I called it a shooting street in Shanghai. I call it the grind, this photo. So many people just working their ass off in Shanghai, it's crazy. But this guy had a flask that was like huge, so I just needed to get a picture of that. What's next? Next is a photo I took on the cab ride from the airport to our hotel. The light in Shanghai, because of the air quality, it was super hazy like all the time, and I managed to snag this photo. I love the yellows and how that car kind of pops out of the entire city. So that was super fun. This is another photo I took out of a window outside of a car. A lot of these photos that I took outside, kind of just on the ways. My favorite thing to do when you get to a city is when you're driving from the airport to wherever you're going. It's such an interesting drive because it's your first look into wherever you're going. So this is another photo I took when I was in the car, and I call this City Corner. I think it's pretty cool. It's kind of retro. It just kind of looks like, it doesn't look like Shanghai. It kind of looks like it could be in dead center of New York, which I thought was really cool. And I just love the colors. For this trip, I went for a very muted and very pastel-y color palette, which I'm loving at the moment. This next photo, believe it or not, again, this is shot out of the window of a car. This is our cab driver. This is my favorite photo from the trip. It's just like, it just was kind of a happy accident. I pointed my camera outside the window, and I got this, and the shadow on his face, and just the light, like the light in Shanghai was awesome, like pretty much all the time. So that was awesome. This next photo is one of my favorite photos. Another one of my favorite photos. It is these two guys standing looking at the Shanghai skyline. What I like about this photo is everyone seems to be taking the same photo of that skyline. I wanted to get something a little bit different, and when I saw these two guys standing here, there was no one around them. I needed to snap this photo because it is like, it's my favorite one of my favorite photos I took while I was in Shanghai, and it's just awesome. I called it Two Best Buds. It just kind of worked out perfectly. A lot of these photos are happy accidents. That's what happens when you shoot street photography. This next photo, so the hotel that we were staying at in Jiaxing, there was a stadium like right next door, and it was empty, and you could just walk into it, do whatever you want, but outside was pretty empty as well. So I managed to snag this photo while I was kind of just walking around where our hotel was. One thing I urge you all to do is, if your hotel is somewhere that you think maybe isn't as like nice, go for a stroll, depending on where you are, but go for a stroll just in the surrounding areas, and the things that you'll see and find are epic. So yeah, that's another cool one that I took. It's not one of my favorite ones, but it kind of matches the feed and it's kind of clean, so I thought I'd post that one. This next one is more of a product shot. It is of the 18mm moment lens on my phone, taken on the EOS R. I just wanted to kind of highlight that carrying certain things on me are super important to me, and always having my moment lenses on me is super important because sometimes I don't want to lug around this bad boy all the time. And I do have a Fuji X100F, and that's usually always on me. But when I don't want to take everything with me, this is a great option. And having the 18mm and the 58 is super nice. Some of the photos I can get on it are awesome. If you check out my Shanghai story on my Instagram, you'll see that. This next photo, last but not least, it is a photo of Michael, the chef that I was traveling with, and he is just kind of strolling along a crossing. But as you can see, there's just so much texture and so much life happening in this one photo, even though Michael is quite alone on that crossing. Behind him, there's just a whole nother city. It's so lively and people are going about their day. It's an insane city. So this is in Jiaxing. But yeah, this is a great photo because it kind of illustrates kind of the trip that we had, and we were just kind of roaming around, eating random stuff. And there's a video coming about the kind of food experience I had while I was in Shanghai, and that's coming very soon. But yeah, so that was that one. And that's the last photo I've posted for a little bit. I'll be posting again in the new year. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of discuss, achieving these images and really, like, when you approach something like street photography and going into a newer city, what you want to do is you definitely want to have an idea and a goal in your head, but don't let that goal prevent you from getting the shots that you might or wouldn't have gotten prior to having that goal. So I would say go into a city, go into a job open-minded. That's the best thing you can do, because one thing that you want to stray from is being like, this is what I'm shooting, that's all done. You want to be open to shooting whatever comes your way. I'm just going to stop this screen recording. It's weird, I can hear my voice. Did you hear that? That is my uncle's car. It is, it's very loud. Yeah, so when you approach going something like street photography or shooting street photography in cities you've never been in before, be as open-minded as possible. One thing I would say is to practice street photography, go into your own city, and you may think that, shooting street in your own city is a little bit boring, but what you need to start to think is all of those things that you see on a day-to-day basis, how can you switch things up? How can you make them a little bit different to how you did before? I definitely think that there is a power in being able to see your own city in a different light. When I lived in London, I obviously was there for a year, so seeing that, it was a whole new experience. But what it did was when I came back to Melbourne, it helped me see Melbourne in a whole new way, and it was like quite a creative, creative awakening, you could say. But yeah, I would just encourage you to go out in your own city, even if you're in a small town. All of those little things that you thought you've seen every single day and you know what they look like, look at them from a slightly different perspective, and I guarantee you a little spark will happen. And what it will do is when you do travel, when you do go to new cities, you'll start to find all those little nuances in all of the buildings and the architecture and the people and the food. So that's one thing I stress so much, is just shoot as much as you can and shoot the things that are old to you and shoot the things that are new to you, and you'll have so much fun. Thank you guys for watching. Moving into 2020, I do want to be releasing a lot more YouTube content. I think I've kind of passed that part of me that feels like I have to put a lot of effort into these videos, when really I just need to be doing them and doing them regularly, for my sake more than anything. As being a creative professional, you find that once you dive into doing your work on a day-to-day basis and getting paid for it, work turns into a little bit of a chore. And the only way to counteract that is to do the thing you do for work for fun again, because that's why you got into it in the first place. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not gonna bore you with the whole subscribe thing. Do it if you want. This is more for me than anything else, but I hope you've enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Shoot those. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm so tired. It's not even Friday. I don't even know. Is it Friday? I don't know.